Hey guys, good evening. It is Sunday night, the 30th of December, and I can't tell you how I feel in the last 30 seconds or so. Hopefully this will be my last video ever kind of in the dark. Give you guys kind of an idea. You've been so patient with me. Those of you who are still following me, I greatly appreciate it. It was a hellacious 6 weeks of work under the circumstances. But I am off tomorrow, New Year's Eve. I'm off New Year's Day. And then on Wednesday, the 2nd, I have two new staff members joining the team. The first one will be starting with me in a second. So I'll have maybe another week of training or so. And I'm going to get back to just doing a simple good job and not a crazy doing 2 and 3 tasks or positions. And I'm going to have a quality of life back again. And it's going to allow me to focus on things I've missed out on over the last 6 weeks. My kids, my family, my book. So I'm really excited right now. I didn't realize I was going to react this way. Simply put, all day long I've been waiting for the day to finish up and waiting for my teams to come back. And last one came back. It's not even 6 o'clock yet, so I'll be home at 6:30 tonight. And it just feels great. It feels great to know that the first step of the life after journey has taken place, in the sense that I was able to find employment and try to get my bills caught up. I'm not there, but at least I'm making the progress needed, and that feels good. And then I found a good position with a good company, and I'm making improvements on processes there. Now it feels good to be part of something. So that really I didn't realize I'd feel this good. I go to the doctor on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday to look at this knee, which, to be honest with you, ironically hasn't hurt as much today. And I'll probably feel great by the time I go to the doctor, so they look at it and say, we don't see anything wrong with it. But I did want to talk about a couple of things today. First thing I was going to talk about is actually probably very silly to a lot of people, and probably would think I'm off my rocker. Most people would tend to disagree with me, but I'll share. Again, my whole journey has been about just sharing different perspectives, not moralizing or deciding what's right or wrong. But then something else came up today, which I thought was really valuable and I wanted to share with you. And it came from a dear journey friend. Cindy shared with me on Facebook Messenger, and I'm going to try to post it to the Facebook page. I haven't done a lot of that over the last 6 weeks, but I'll get back to trying to share the message and carry the message forth. And it was a soundbite or a video with Will Smith. I shouldn't say believe it or not, but just you don't expect such profound words to come from a celebrity sometimes, but they were pretty profound. And he was talking about the difference between fault and responsibility. And one of the examples I think he used was something along the lines of, somebody's dad was a raging alcoholic. Well, it's not their fault their dad was a raging alcoholic, but it is their responsibility to make sure that they learn from that and don't continue on. I think he was kind of alluding to the fact, and the way I would read into it, or I'm trying to think of what I'm looking for right there, but my interpretation would simply be that, if you follow in their footsteps and you just want to blame somebody else because of your lot in life, it's easy to find faults. It's not as easy to take responsibility and point the thumb and own it. So I want to share it with you guys later, but it was a really poignant bit, and again, I've gotten away sometimes from some of the message I want to carry, and I thought it was brilliant. I really did. It's easy to find faults and point the finger, but it's hard to take responsibility and say it's my responsibility to change the negative history behind things. So it doesn't have to be history; it could be an immediate situation. I had a couple of instances. It happens on an everyday basis on small scales. In the business world, I had a couple of those today, as a matter of fact. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was something that I don't know why it had me so riled, but it did. And I hate when people. I don't judge people. Whatever works for them. And it was a topic that a lot of folks, I'm sure, will disagree with me on, because society says, it's wrong and it's a shame, it's this and that. And it's one thing to express an opinion, it's another to try to feed your agenda and tear others down. So those of you should know by now I'm a huge Dr. Phil fan. And I was watching an episode of Dr. Phil. I'm sure it was a repeat. Don't know when it was a repeat from. But essentially they had on this gentleman, and I was offended on about 9 different levels. And even offended with Dr. Phil, as a matter of fact. But anyway, they had on a gentleman who has a website he's created that kind of calls for sugar babies, okay? It matches typically young, attractive women with wealthy men. And, these men pay for a subscription to be on the site, a monthly subscription. The women are free. And then it's like any other dating site. Now, dating sites have been accepted in the norm, at least for the last 2 decades, as far as I know. And no one seems to have any moral objection to them. But this one here, he had an attorney on that was calling these young ladies essentially prostitutes. Now, whether or not they choose to have sex with the sugar daddies, I guess to me is their business, right? To me, it is different than being picked up on a street corner. And then the attorney woman was calling this gentleman a pimp and a low-down, conniving, lying pimp. And he took exception and said, no, I don't see it that way. And I just see this too many times, not even on this particular dating site thing, but I see it in life and in people's choice of careers. They all want to kind of gripe and be angry about something. But no one puts a gun to these young ladies' heads and says, hey, you've got to join the website. No one puts a gun to these wealthy men's heads and says, you've got to be part of this website. No one says these women have to, engage in anything they don't want to engage in. Now, I will share with you that I think the one part where I'll side with Dr. Phil was this gentleman was he was almost making it seem like he's doing the world a service. And in some capacity, I get that. But he was almost in denial that there are women out there that are doing this strictly basically pay for sex. The reason I bring that up is because of something that happened to me on the journey. Not happened to me, but a perspective that I didn't have before. And it got me to thinking when I saw this episode today. And like I said, the thing that fired me up in the episode wasn't that they said, look, I disagree with what you're doing. Kind of the same thing with strippers. You don't have to I guess, support it or condone it, but it's a living, and if that's what they choose to do. But society seems to be so quick to cast and categorize these things. But the issue I want to talk about, which may open some of your eyes, and I never thought of it this way. I've never been wealthy. I've never been close to wealthy, so this is not even an option that I have any knowledge about. Certainly, I can tell you nobody's ever dated me for my money. I promise you that. But I ran into somebody on the journey that gave me a completely unique perspective. And it's strange how people share things with me they might not share with anybody else. But what he essentially said to me was he lived in a fairly populated area, and he basically said that once a week or so he makes a call. And this is, prostitution, which is legal in California, or not California, it could be in Nevada. But again, we want to moralize it. So here's what he basically said to me, and I never looked at it from this way. Look, I can call a girl, I can meet a terrifically attractive young lady, we engage in what we engage in, and when we're done, I move on. I don't have to worry about follow-up phone calls and texts and you didn't call me and who are you calling and what are you doing with your time and what time did you get home last night. I don't have to deal with any of that. And when I kind of at first, like a lot of people, questioned it morally on one hand and then also financially, like, man, doesn't that soak you? He said, Jim, let me ask you a question. You go out on a first date with somebody you meet on a regular website. You go to dinner, maybe you send them flowers, maybe you go to a movie. He says, what's that going to run you? And especially imagine you're a larger metropolitan area. A dinner in a big city, tip, drinks, maybe a movie, is going to cost you $100, $120, $130. And you might not even know if you like the person. You know, he goes, I don't have any of those issues. You know, I may spend the same amount of money or even a little bit more, but I get what I need, she gets what she needs, and there's none of that goes with it. And then I started to think about how that applies to the sugar daddy website, right? And I started to think about, first of all, I've never been in a position, as I said, to have money that I would think somebody would be interested in me for my money. But I imagine for a moment, what if I was really wealthy? Right? It'd be great to think that somebody would really like me for who I am. But we all know that there are many wealthy people that have, you know, young, attractive women or men by their side if they're cougars. And that's just the reality of it. And the world has necessarily no problem with it, right? It's okay if the younger, I mean, the one I'll give you an example of, which I thought was preposterous, and you know, me, I'm all about hypocrisy. Jerry Seinfeld, who is revered, at the time, I think it was like a 38 or 39-year-old actor, comedian. And he started dating, I want to say a 19-year-old. Could be a year younger, could be a year older. And I think her name was Shoshana Lonstein, if I remember correctly. But because it's in the movies, and because it's Jerry Seinfeld, nobody cares. But if I started dating a 25-year-old, the world would be in an uproar. If a man goes out and goes on vacation with a 25-year-old, everybody looks at him and goes, "Oh, look at that sugar daddy." But why is it any different? But yet it was. And you can go look it up. He's not with her anymore, but you can go look it up and see what I'm talking about. Nobody had a problem whatsoever with it. It's just as laughable. But so the point, I digress. Let me go back to my point before I run out of time here. Let's just say I was a millionaire. You know, I'm a pretty deep guy, and I like content more so than the packaging. But would you ever really know? I mean, if I'm a wealthy guy and an attractive young lady comes up to me, does she really like me for me, or does she really like me because it's kind of an easier lifestyle for her? And then when you add into that account, this is just me being sort of cynical now, how many people end up in divorce these days of all marriages? So I've got a small fortune. I'm wealthy. I can invest in a wife, which again, that's what I would do. I like relationship, but not everybody does. But how much does that cost you? And how much does a divorce cost you if it comes to that? Well, these sugar daddies, if it's their choice, it's their choice, it's their money. Who are we to care and judge? But yet, this attorney person was just berating this guy and these young ladies. And look, if it's not for you, then say it's not for you, but you don't have to attack them. And then the other thing I found really offensive was on 2 occasions, back-to-back, Dr. Phil was trying to corner this guy into how much money he makes from this. In the sense that he said, well, you know, if you have how many subscribers and they pay $50 a month, well, heck, you're bringing in $2 million a year, $2 million a month. Well, you know what, Dr. Phil, how much money are you bringing in? Nobody goes on and questions him. It's none of it. Whether this guy brings in $2,000 a month or $2 million a month, he has a business model. People are engaging in it. People are using it. How is that even relevant? And again, I have nothing but love and respect for Dr. Phil, but that really bothered me too. So I know it's a weird topic, and I know most of you think I'm probably crazy for even talking about it because, you know, again, I know society tends to look down their nose at things like that. And frankly, I did too before I took the journey, but I had a different perspective when that gentleman said, look, been single for a little while and been dating, and you know, yeah, I know how much money it costs to take somebody out, and then the follow-up phone calls, and the second date or the third date, and you know, before you find out, you know, is this really something I want to go forward with? No, you know, these guys, these gals, they don't have that issue. And I thought what the owner of the website was saying was, look, no one's this brutally honest, and I kind of agree with that. So that's my take on it. Thanks, guys. Have a happy New Year. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. I love you all, and I'll get back to the book. Take care.